Judge Amy Coney Barrett, thank you so very much. This is Sheldon Whitehouse. As you can see from these placards and giant poster boards that I printed out, as you can see, I'm going to ask you some questions regarding your value system and the type of human being you are. Is that okay, Judge? Yes, that's fine. You stated in the past that you were against misogyny, horrible people, divisive rhetoric, and everything bad in the universe. And yet you've identified as a conservative. Yes, Your Honor. So, yes, Senator. So you don't oppose those things. Senator, are you trying to say yes or no? Do you oppose horrible monsters who lurk in the night and who want to rip apart our democracy and institute a new era of totalitarian rule? Yes or no? No, Senator. And yet you are a conservative. Is that correct? Yes, but what? I rest my case. So you don't oppose those things. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much. And then the real world examples. There are real world consequences to. Then this senator is trying to talk about finance when there's dark money associated with AOC, and it's kind of hilarious that you have a Democrat lecturing Amy Coney Barrett on shady fundraising activities. That's all they engage in. You can look at the controversies regarding the way AOC and others have raised money. That's swept under the rug, very similar to the way that this New York Post, these New York Post stories pertaining to these New York Post stories pertaining to prison. I'm reading. These New York Post stories pertaining to. Oh my God! I have no clue this happened. These New York Post stories pertaining to the vice president's son and the vice president. They're not going to end. They're only going to get worse. You can, if you are CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, you can say, well, first of all, Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you so very much. If to my super chat, thank you so very much. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people, and money going in and out of PACs like some people. But if you want to support my voice, thank you so much. The interesting thing is that this is an absolute devastating event for Biden's campaign. There's so little enthusiasm, and media is, and I'm talking about people on the left as well. They're trying to cover up something they can't cover up. They're trying to cover up a story that's only going to get worse. This is something that Clinton is going to replace Biden. You watch. She's the only hope Democrats have. The 15 points up nationally, these are polls conducted by the same people who were wrong about Clinton's national lead in October of 2016. These are the same people who are going to be wrong again. They have not learned. The Democratic Party learned nothing from 2016. The polling industry is pretty much going to end. Aside from Trafalgar, the Trafalgar Group is going to be rock stars. They're going to be rock stars this election. President Trump's going 8 years, which is a prediction that I've been making for the past 4 years. Actually, the day on November 8, 2016, I said, and I was at that point the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. I was saying that you're not going to, Democrats are going to lose indefinitely, forever, unless they completely alter their message and completely rebuild. And they haven't done that. If anything, they have doubled down on failed narratives, hoaxes, myths that they purchased. Now, you cannot win. First of all, Biden has zero enthusiasm. He's doing worse among black and Latino voters than Clinton. This whole thing is a giant charade. Now, Clinton doesn't need to be on mail-in ballots. For people who were wondering, does Madam Secretary need to be on mail-in ballots? No, she does not. She does not need to be on mail-in ballots. She just needs to be on the ballot at the end of the day on November 3rd. The electors in the Electoral College go by political party. They don't go necessarily by person. So if Biden is replaced for whatever reason, and I have no clue what the reason would be, other than they can't win with Biden, because this story is not okay. Clinton is not coming to Biden's defense. The I'm with her world is not coming to Biden's defense. They're trying to cover it up. The story is going to continue to get larger, grow. It's going to sink his campaign because you can't get out. This is not corruption as usual. There's some on the left, the usual suspects saying, oh, well, it's corruption as usual. It's corruption as usual. Everyone does it. No, not everyone is the vice president. And not everyone is the vice president who is the point person for a specific country. And not everyone is the vice president who's the point person for a specific country who allows who allows his son to be on the board of directors of a company to then get access to the vice presidency, to the office of the vice president. It's not corruption as usual. It's not corruption as usual because most politicians, even high-ranking senators, are not in that position. Oh my God. Most people are not in that position. So, most people don't wield as much authority as Biden had. Most people are not able, most senators, actually there isn't a senator or a person in Congress able to force another country to fire a prosecutor that happened to be ready to investigate a company that their son was on the board of directors of. This is not business as usual. If you're on the left, if people on the left say, "Oh, it's business as usual," it's not that big of a deal. It's business as usual. That's just what happens in politics. That happens in politics. What do you expect? It's not business as usual. It is something, and the fact that you have people saying that this will just subside. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it is. Social media is suppressing the reaction is actually worse for Biden than anything else. But the fact that you have people trying to mitigate this or trying to suppress this only makes it a more compelling story. It's only there aren't just one email. There isn't just one email. There are thousands. So there isn't just one email. There are thousands of emails. And the New York Post today is still talking about it because there's a lot to talk about. There's a great deal more to talk about. So you have to ask yourself, what are they going to do when Biden's lead nationally subsides and he's either in all their polls either tied or below President Trump in swing states? That's with support that's below Clinton's levels among Black and Latino voters. He cannot win. He cannot win because he's a horrendous candidate who doesn't know where he is half the time and who hasn't accomplished anything in 50 years. The same people who said they opposed Bush are voting alongside Bush, and they voted alongside Bush in 2016. Clinton was backed by neoconservatives then. She's backed by the Lincoln Project today, or Biden is until he gets replaced. This entire thing has been a charade. Just like when they cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016, they cheated him again in 2020. The entire thing is a charade. But just you can go to the New York Post today. This is interesting. So the New York Post, it's funny. The New York Post is doing exactly what the Washington Post, the New York Times, Vanity Fair, Esquire, every BuzzFeed, every single liberal publication, every single publication that leans left, that has devoted its lives, every single publication that has devoted its existence to taking down and undermining President Trump. You have the New York Post they're either playing the same game or reporting on emails that are accurate, that are like legitimate. They're not, Biden is not, nobody is saying the correspondence is fabricated. They're saying, you know what, it had to be Russia, which is another absurd thing. P.E. If they are interested in the truth, wouldn't they just call up the FBI to confirm or deny that they picked up the laptop? I would say yes, and I would also say that they can confirm or deny the accuracy of the correspondence or the emails. They can confirm or deny the accuracy of the emails. They can confirm or deny whether or not the vice president's son wrote those letters, and whether the business people in other countries who were thanking the vice president's son for access to the vice president, all they have to do is say these emails are not accurate, but then that opens up a Pandora's box and a can of worms. They can't do that. Just like they couldn't say the DNC or campaign emails in 2016 weren't accurate. They couldn't say that because they were accurate. It's like they cannot say that, well, these emails aren't accurate. They can't, because the emails are accurate and everybody knows it. Now, the one thing President Trump has not been accused of is a deal with another country for access. That is it. That Madam Secretary, with 85 donors giving $156 million, Bill Clinton getting $500,000 from a Moscow investment bank. So PE, thank you. The foundation, you could just read Clinton Cash, Peter Schweitzer. the access, whether it's the uranium cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal, or Boeing, UBS giving money into the foundation to get beneficial treatment from the IRS, a giant networking scam, which is raising $10 billion that the people of Haiti should have received. And I interviewed Haitian-born journalist Daddy Cherry, brilliant woman and brilliant journalist, who stated that around $10 billion was raised for the people of Haiti from subsidiary organizations linked to Bill and Hillary Clinton and their foundation, and only about 3% actually made it to the people of Haiti. Well, what happened to the money, or at least what happened to the promise of all that money? The way they work is the following. They don't run around like one of those like old cartoons with like a big duffel bag full of money. That's not what happens. What happens is they network. Why do you think Madam Secretary had a $100,000 a plate dinner? A $100,000 a plate dinner for in Hollywood, for people who just want to go to a fundraising event and spend $100,000 for a dinner, because it's about access. You go to this dinner, you can pitch your movie idea, you can get money for a movie, you can basically have access to all the top producers, top directors, everyone in Hollywood who can afford $100,000 a plate. If you are trying to raise money or trying to get a studio to even look at an idea for a science fiction or some kind of, or just any movie, you can't just go and call up a top producer, or you can't just go, especially if you don't know who they are, or especially if you barely know who they are. But if you're at a fundraiser where it's $100,000 a plate, and you have the money, or you can get the money to get to that fundraiser, it's a networking event. So you go there, and you're suddenly surrounded by every top person in Hollywood, and Madam Secretary, and maybe a state senator, and maybe a senator or a congressperson, or a couple of senators or a couple of congresspeople, whatever. And you leave that event knowing a lot more people who know a lot more people than you do, and a lot more powerful and wealthy people and decision makers. That's why you spend $100,000 to go to an actor's home for a fundraiser for Madam Secretary. That's why they raised $10 billion. They didn't do so to help people. If they did, the people of Haiti would have gotten the $10 billion. But in doing so, Madam Secretary, Bubba Bill, like just in the campaign emails, it was Bill Clinton, Inc. They know every wealthy decision maker of every top bank, corporation on the planet. Every wealthy entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, every millionaire, billionaire, all of these people, or a great many of them, very likely either donated or said they were going to donate as part of the $10 billion raised. Then, after only 3% went to the people of Haiti, well, nobody knows where all the promises, where all the, if you raise $10 billion and only 3% get to the people in need, then what happens to did they acquire the money? Did people follow through with their promises to give donations? No, but that was another giant networking scam. The way they work is they either get 85 donors to give $156 million into the foundation, or it's networking, so they know people in the future. They meet people, they know decision makers, they know wealthy individuals, they know people who also want people. Wealthy individuals are not stupid. They're not stupid. So then when you get Sheldon Whitehouse talking about fundraising, and dark money, that's what the left lives off of. They don't live off of ideas, and they don't live off of ideas, and they don't live off of principle, because the left doesn't have a set value system. They have the far left Medicare. The far left wants Medicare for all, or Bernie Sanders supporters, or the left wants Medicare for all. Even the people to the left of them want to abolish the Electoral College, or they want to abolish, or they want to defund police. So not everybody who wants Medicare for all wants to defund police, but the liberals want the Affordable Care Act. That's not good enough for most of the left. And then the far left also wants to abolish the Electoral College, and they want to pack the courts. Some liberals want to pack the courts. Some liberals don't. There is no left. There's no value system. Some very few people on the left actually want to end counterinsurgency conflicts and end military interventions. Most don't care. That's why the Lincoln Project is there. That's why you have Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld all of those people voting Democrat, or at least all of those people who pushed for that foreign policy, they're now voting Democrat. So you don't have a value system. What are you going to do? You're going to raise money based on the promise or the belief, or you're going to raise money by convincing enough people, a faction, a group of people on the left, not the entire left. Like, not the way President Trump raises money. Like, the Republicans say, if you love Trump, if you like who he is, please donate. And people donate because you have 63 to 65 million people who pretty much have a similar value system on life. Then you have, so these people might differ on a lot of things, obviously, but they all agree that we should have a great economy. They all agree that we should end military interventions. They all agree that we should end military quagmires, counterinsurgency conflicts. They all agree that we should reverse U.S. foreign policy. So all 63, 65 million people all agree on that. And that's what they get from President Trump. The left does not like that. They can't raise money in that manner. So that's how you have all of these fundraising problems. Most of the money raised for AOC and other politicians are outside of their district. Most of the money raised is outside of their district. That's why they have all of these problems in terms of fundraising. And then you get Sheldon Whitehouse talking, trying to lecture Amy Coney Barrett. But see, again, the New York Post article is about access. It doesn't matter. You already have so much evidence and not only do you had circumstantial evidence with a vice president saying that the vice president's actually saying, you're not, you know what? I told them they're not going to get $1 billion in loan guarantees unless they fire a prosecutor. You already had that. The rebuttal was, you don't have any proof. You don't have any proof that they actually met with business people. Then now you have an email saying, okay, thank you for the meeting. And then you have more emails talking about more meetings, and you have more emails talking about greater access. And then you have the vice president saying, well, I never knew. I didn't know what my son was doing. And then my son did nothing wrong. Well, it hurts to hear that, because the human side of you feels for Biden, because that is a statement that, if someone makes, your initial reaction is to believe them, or to at least say, okay, he's representing, he loves his son. That's a good thing. So your initial reaction is, okay, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. But now you have a New York Post article not just talking about one country, but another country. So now it's not just Ukraine, it's China also. And it gets worse and worse and worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. And the media reaction, whether it's the left acknowledging but saying it's just, gosh, everybody is just the same in Washington. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, not everything is the same. Not everything is the same. Democrats are far worse in terms of corruption. There's no doubt. There's no. They have the media that can cover up everything. So obviously they get away with a lot more, and they probably commit. They almost certainly commit a lot more. Just ask Bernie Sanders. How many Republican candidates? How many Republican candidates have been cheated by the RNC? So it only is going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And it's like at a certain point, they're going to start talking. And they're going to say, okay, well, maybe the $10 billion raised for Haiti, maybe there was something going on there also. But you know what? Before that happens, Madam Secretary is going to swoop in. That dorsal fin is not flipper. You can go ahead and look at Madam Secretary's profile. Has she even mentioned? Let's see if she's even mentioned. Let's see if she's gone to bat for Biden. Okay? Isn't that interesting? She wrote the Medium article, which is bizarre because you could have gotten published in the New York Times. Gee, nothing about the New York Post article for the last 2 days. Nothing saying Russia is... So wait a second. Other people are saying Russia is part of this. I don't know how they're trying to pin it on Russia, but where is Madam Secretary saying there's Russia again? I don't see anything. I'm looking at you. Go on their Twitter profile. Do you see anything? No, not going to bat for Biden. Gee, I wonder why. Who benefits from all of this? And their mentality is the following. Comey, who is so corrupt, he has the goods on everybody. Comey, who's so corrupt, he has the goods on everyone a week before the election. alters the course of Democratic Party history. It was actually James Comey who helped President Trump immensely. There's a chance that President Trump might not have won without Comey. I think that he probably would have won, but it would have been much closer. It would have been maybe 20,000 votes. And who knows what they would have done then? Not 77,000 votes. Who knows? But this is only going to get worse. This is only going to get worse. I don't know. It's interesting. When you look, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at what's taking place every single day, Biden is going to lose. Biden would lose the election if they actually went with him. Okay? They have no chance with Biden. They're stuck. They've painted themselves in a corner. They've painted themselves into a corner because they don't have the enthusiasm needed to win an election. You cannot win, and President Trump is not disliked by enough people for them to win. And they're going to have horrendous voter turnout. That's even before the pandemic. They're going to go 8 years. President Trump is going to go 8 years. The left will completely dissolve into a whole bunch of factions who can't stand one another and break off. Or I don't know. I have no clue. The meltdown is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But I don't know. I find it very interesting that you have a story from the New York Post that nobody disputes. Nobody disputes. Okay, there is nobody that disputes the emails are accurate. Even Biden doesn't. Even Joe Biden does not. Okay? He just praised social media companies for censoring everything. If they go with Biden, if they're so inept, they're going to lose decisively. The only chance they would have is with Clinton. Everything, I'm telling you. Lisa, thank you so very much, Lisa. Lisa, thank you so very much. Thank you as always. My goodness, Lisa, thank you so very, very, very much. Lisa Lister, thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much yesterday, today. My goodness, Lisa. I wish I could do more, but I don't want to frighten people. Thank you so very much, Lisa Lister. Thank you so very, very much. Lisa, thank you so much. You are absolutely fantastic. I know you will be here November 3rd. I wish I could offer more on this channel to warrant your all of the support, but it's not Halloween yet, so I can't take off my shirt or clothing. So and even that would frighten people. So there's really nothing more I could do other than just continue with my usual personality. But thank you so very much, Lisa. Thank you. It's only going to get worse, so they have a choice to make. Clinton actually makes it close. What the left wants to do, the left likes to believe that the Clintons don't control the Democratic Party. They do. There is no Democratic Party. Democratic Party, when you have people running for Congress, and it was Bob Menendez, who was an establishment politician. He went to Clinton for funding. When it was Andrew Gillum in New York, in Florida, Bob Menendez in New York, establishment, went to Clinton for funding. When it was Andrew Gillum, Florida, went to Clinton for funding. Stacey Abrams, very close to Clinton for fundraising. The DNC signed an agreement with the Clintons. The left is like, well, yeah, so many people. Even today, somebody said that, oh yeah, here's our old friend is still talking about Clinton. It's like, well, who do you think has run the Democratic Party for 4 years? You think it's Pelosi or Schumer? There was a dossier purchased by one person. Madam Secretary purchased a dossier and set up and framed Trump. And who do you think pushed for a crime bill? And Biden is directly responsible for a 100-to-1 sentencing disparity where people of color were disproportionately affected by a ratio of 100-to-1 in terms of arrests and sentencing and convictions and prison sentences for the same narcotic. By the way, the same narcotic that Biden's family, I'll just leave it as, knows very well. So he pushes 100-to-1 sentencing disparity, and he has issues in his own family with that substance. You're not going to get, and Lisa, thank you so very much. Exactly. Simon, I love you. The last part, the quote is fine, but I gotta remove just the last part. Simon, I apologize. I just have to be super careful. Simon Hathaway, Spurlock, thank you so very much. I apologize. I just have to remove the last part, but I mean, the quote was perfect. Simon Hathaway, Spurlock, thank you as always, Simon. As always. As always. William R. Abrams III, Mr. Tiny is a night owl sleeping through this. Mr. Tiny partied all night. Yeah. Partied all night, huh? You partying with Mr. Tiny? William R. Abrams III, thank you. Thank you. It is a lot more rational to believe that Clinton is going to replace Biden than to believe that Democrats would eventually, in 100 years, pass a Medicare for All bill. It is a lot more rational and logical. It is a lot more logical and rational to believe that Clinton will replace Biden when Comey came in last second with a Comey letter. Why would they care about replacing Biden? Nobody's voting for Biden because of who he is. They're voting for Biden because he's not Trump. And in terms of the Electoral College, it doesn't matter if people have already sent mail-in ballots. At the end of the day, they vote for the political party. When Clinton replaces Biden, they'll vote for the political party, which will make it actually it'll make it even easier for them to cheat because you'll have ballots with Biden, you'll have ballots with Clinton. Then you'll have to find out, when were these ballots for Biden and when were these ballots for Clinton sent in. I mean, the whole thing is going to be a nice. Well, this is the thing. If it's close, it'll be a huge mess. With Biden, it doesn't even get close. I don't think it gets close enough for them to really cheat or to get away with it. With Clinton, it gets close enough to where they can actually get away with it. But I think President Trump will still win. But it is a lot more rational and logical. So, Simon, thank you. Lisa, thank you as always, Lisa. You're absolutely wonderful. William, thank you. It is a lot more logical and rational to believe that Clinton, she had, not only did Madam Secretary have a fundraise, like a secret agreement where she basically ran the DNC. Not only was Bernie Sanders cheated in 2016, but also in 2020 in Iowa. And Elizabeth Warren running, that's only for the political party. And the people at the top of the political party are, okay, who do you think's on top? That's right. But you have to ask yourself, okay, do you think, what are the chances that they'll pass a Medicare for All bill in the next 10 years? How about zero? Because when they lose this election, they're going to blame the Medicare for All people. The left, I know the way the Democrats work, and the left will never learn. It's kind of hilarious. Thank God I support President Trump. There is definitely a liberal case for supporting Trump, but from the vantage point of a liberal in the 80s and 90s, not a liberal of today who cares, or early 2000s, not a liberal of today who has no problem with Lincoln Project people. But Democrats there's zero chance that Democrats pass a Medicare for All bill or Green New Deal legislation. The only people bringing up Green New Deal legislation was Pence and President Trump. Democrats are petrified of the Green New Deal. So the left doesn't really have any policies that they can all rally around. They lie all the time. They don't believe what they say. They say things to appeal. They almost run like a parliamentary system, but only for their side. And they have state primaries, and some of the state primaries don't even run with the popular vote. So they definitely don't utilize the popular vote when it's for their own political party, because then Bernie Sanders would have won. And they can't have that because they don't want what he stands for. But you watch, ladies and gentlemen. I know people say, oh my God, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It'll matter to me personally because I want this to happen I just want this to happen. As the former biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, I definitely want Madam Secretary to just do her thing and replace Biden. I know she will. But I still will go 2 elections where I accurately predicted the outcome. I'm voting for President Trump. My website's going to come up. You can see my articles opposing against counterinsurgency conflicts. I think that opposing interventions and regime changes is the most important thing we can do in this country. The most moral thing, the most righteous thing. The left stands upon this soapbox of verbal refuse. Oh, you have to the planet. Then it's like, okay, that's important, but not as important as reversing failed U.S. foreign policy that affects the lives instantly of people around the world and also of American families and soldiers. P. Ramos! Keep doing what you're doing, HA. We listen all the way from Illinois. Thank you. We have shared your channel with all our friends and family all over. Thank you, P. Ramos. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And I do appreciate that so much. And can I tell you something? A message like this makes my day. P. Ramos, thank you so very, very, very much. I do appreciate that. And I mean, that's really the best thing that anyone could do for the channel. Obviously super chat, but also tell your friends and family, because you know what? I compare myself to a really great New York Met, one of the New York Met legends or icons, but he was just a very good player. Kevin McReynolds. I'm the Kevin McReynolds of YouTube politics. Just a good, solid 28 home runs, 100 RBIs, 270, 285 batting average. I'm a solid channel to listen to. P. Ramos, thank you so very much. So Kevin McReynolds, he'd be making like $30 million a year nowadays, but he was awesome. He was a solid, awesome player for the Mets. And actually the Padres also. But his stats, you look at his stats. Let's look at his stats. P. Ramos, let's look at his stats. Okay, 265. Okay. But you know what? He 26 homers, 29 homers, 27 homers, 22. Not bad. 96 ribbies, 95 ribbies. I'm the Kevin McReynolds of YouTube. And I'm happy. Do you understand? I'm happy. I'm happy. Nobody knows what I'm even talking. If you're a millennial, I can tell you, God bless you, you don't know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you do if you're into baseball. But here's a player that anyone would love to have on their team. And so that's who I am. Just nothing really. I'm not going to break any records, although I could once Clinton replaces Biden, it'll be nice. But look at these stats. Good, solid. How can you get more solid than this? His 88 season, 288, 21 stolen bases, 99 RBIs, 27 homers. Hello. And he was third in the MVP. Wow. Check it out. 56 strikeouts. Check that out. He never struck out. The man never struck out. It's pretty good. 27 homers, 99 ribbies, 21 stolen bases, 288. Nice. He had a pretty good season then. But their 86 season, when he 86, he had a good season too, 288, 26 homers. So anyway, P. Ramos, thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. That is very, very kind of you to tell people about my channel, so I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Simon! Trust in the H.A. Goodman prophecy. My faith has never wavered. My faith has never wavered either. Simon, it's happening. I just, Scotty, thank you. Simon, it's happening. It's happening. They're taking their sweet time on it. Pretty soon, he's going to be asked a question. Pretty soon, a reporter is going to be asked, is going to ask the following. It's going to be like this. Hey, I gotta go. Huh, come on now. I got one question, and it's here. He always, come on now. Hey, you. There's only one person. Meanwhile, like, they have these reporters in these circles, so hilarious. They're like separated by 50 feet, and they're like, Vice President Biden. But and like, sorry, Vice President Biden. I'm sorry to ask you. Vice President Biden. I didn't want to ask this question, but I have to. Vice President Biden. Please don't be upset with me. By the way, I love your suit and everything you stand for, and God bless you. And well, they wouldn't say that, actually. It's the left. So, I just have to ask you, did you, the New York Post article, Russian disinformation. I know. Laptop stolen from who knows how they obtained it. He did nothing wrong. I know. Please. I'm sorry. Is there any truth to the emails?
Hey, Shema, vote for someone else. Hey, you ain't. Hey, Shema, cornflakes. I'm out. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Russian disinformation, man. Come on, man.
And it'll be done. It'll be done. That's it. That's it. Lisa Lister, you are absolutely wonderful. Thank you again. That's it. It'll be done. Because when they ask that question, do you understand? Any truth?
Any truth? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Thank you, Cleveland.
You're in Milwaukee.
Whatever.
Cares. Not even running anyway. Who cares? Why does he even... You know what? He should stop campaigning. He'll actually do better. I'm telling you, they're going to go with Clinton, but if they're so inept, just look, there's a far greater chance, and Clinton will replace Biden, but there's an infinitely greater chance that Clinton replaces Biden than Democrats ever passing a Medicare for All bill or Green New Deal legislation or defunding police or abolishing ICE or anything or packing the courts or abolishing the Electoral College. Pretty much everything the left believes has an infinitely less chance of happening than Clinton, which is I wouldn't say my baby, but I love them both. Oh, we love you too, H.A. Badman. You haven't always been on our team, but I trust that you'll be on Madam Secretary's side when she replaces Botox B, the exhumed body. Now I'm voting for President Trump, Bill. Oh, you're one of those people. Okay, suit yourself. Go ahead and work with Putin, like I did when I met with him at his dacha outside Moscow. Right when we were getting some money from a little mining company. Yep. Anyway. Vicissitude, thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. That's it. Who is it that you have, they seem to think that in Kentucky they could usurp the turtle. It's not happening. That's it. Do you have any plans for November 3rd? I'm having a little get-together at my place. Wondering if you and the mister want to come over. Oh, yeah, we're having Kentucky bourbon. You might want to have about 3 bottles. Maybe 3 bottles of Kentucky bourbon might dull the pain of what Trump is going to do to all of you. They don't realize that Turtle Power, Simon Whisper. Paul Bartlett, hello. Exactly, David, thank you. P. Ramos, hello, thank you. Thank you again, P. Ramos. Lisa Lister, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Be here at 9 p.m. Pacific. We'll go for a couple more minutes. I'm not going to do a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll do it probably a little later. But I'll definitely do a segment on my main channel, live stream on my main channel, 9 p.m. tonight. So 9 p.m. Be on this channel, 9 p.m. I'm just waiting. Here, there are a couple. You can look at like former Clinton people, see what they're talking about. None of them are defending Biden, so I'm not going to give you the names, but you can just look at them on Twitter, see what they're doing. And none of them are defending Biden. It's pretty hilarious. And then you get like the young children of like, they have Rudy Giuliani's daughter, and she wrote an article in Vanity Fair. Why would I care what any young person thinks about Trump? Because most young people just want to fit in. Most young people haven't lived enough life to tell the entire world to, F off. So why would I care? I mean, I'm assuming she might just, oh my God, have looked at the Lincoln Project and said, those people wanted a marriage amendment, and those people wanted never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, and now they're voting for Democrats, so I guess that's just the way to go. Maybe she thought that. But, like, why would I care? Young people generally, and I was the same way in college. I was the same way 5 years ago. Less than that, 3 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, I was definitely moving towards President Trump. I just didn't know it. But they're like, oh, Rudy Giuliani's daughter. Well, she probably is surrounded by a great many people who are young in New York. If you're like a 25-year-old, 27-year-old in New York, and you hang out with, the kids of government officials, or socialites in New York, whatever. You're going to be the one Trump supporter? I don't think so. So anyway, yeah, really interesting. Just see this here. You could just look. Nobody in Clinton world is denying or even touching the email story. Now they're celebrating the Lincoln Project people, which is hilarious. Like, these are really good Republicans. Yeah, you should go to Libya, and you should go to all the other places where they had their wonderful foreign policy implemented. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, be here. Be here, ladies and gentlemen. At 9 p.m. Rusty, I should one of these days. You're right. I thank you. Paul Bartlett, everyone here. Lisa Lister, P. Ramos, thank you so very much. Lisa, thank you again. I can't thank you enough. Very, very kind of you, Lisa. And everyone have a fantastic day. I'll see you all at 9 p.m. tonight. Be here at 9 p.m. tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I agree with you, Claude. I agree with you. Be here at 9 p.m. tonight, everyone. God bless. See you at 9 p.m. this evening. Thank you. Thank you, Eric and Luke. Eric and Luke, thank you. Ryan Jackson! Is very money going towards? The jetpack is coming. It'll be the pack money. Ryan Jackson, thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks, everybody. God bless. See you. Please be here at 9 p.m. tonight. Thanks, everybody.